A meat shield, just there to block stuff. The most underappreciated role across the entirety of the esports landscape.
Wet noodles, going ham.
Yeah, we talked about it, you know.
And
This top lane.
Soaz is in trouble.
Oh, he
the
has the
shield
shield.
comes up. The depth charge goes down. 200 HP. Eat the meow card.
And yet, taken too far, these characters are sometimes capable of creating game-breaking metas.
It's not like I don't want to play like Overwatch, because I do, but the meta right now literally is ass.
But when used right, they can achieve unforgettable feats of greatness.
Mind control. He has the ravage ready. It's arrow to all 5 of them. And Thompson has dead.
These are tanks.
He pops the one just to buy a bit more time. Someday is running in 1v4. He kills Sven, and 100D still doing it.
What is this?
What are they doing right now?
That is interesting.
That is a
Can
really...
you get over the roof there?
Oh my.
Oh
my, what a play, what a grab!
Tosses in the grab, they're gonna make it work. And Cruz taken out by the ensuing self-destruct. Atlanta Reign breaking through that.
Here in Thompson, he's the man that's going into the fountain once again. Bathe in the glory of the Radiant. Thompson, he just does not give a crap. Anna will give all the life. This is just fountain farming. Gee, you got it. This is soul breaking. GG. Okay.
What is the first thing that comes to mind when you hear the word tank? Chances are, it's probably something to do with size.
I might as well use it. Then looks like it's gonna run out. That's the like biggest size. I haven't procced Eric's though. Oh well.
But you also probably think of a low skill player who basically uses their character's body as a target for enemy attacks. A brute who exists solely to absorb damage for their team. Kind of like actual tanks. Heavily armored and able to take a ton of abuse without suffering too many ill effects. It's not a position that people generally associate with high stakes gameplay or incredible wins.
So I understand that people might look down a bit on tank players, but in the tank category itself, there's definitely a difference between those who excel at the role and those who just really don't know what they're doing.
In a game like Overwatch, the tank's role usually follows a pretty traditional route. They're brawny characters with high health who protect the little guys.
They're going to have the nano boost from Jonak. We'll see which target he wants to go for. It's very likely going to go for the Winston, but actually going to put it on the Genji instead. A beautiful hook. Libero's out of the fight.
What a hook from Hotba. Couldn't have been better timed. 2 ults for naught, he gets him down.
In casual mode, it is the least popular role in the game, with some of the shortest queue times. After all, it's hard to look cool when you don't get to do much of the classic hero stuff. Lots of players just want to click heads, but for those in the know, the tank role has obvious advantages.
경기를 봤을 때 이제 단순히 킬로그가 높다고 무조건 잘하는 선수는 아니지만 약간 자기 역할을 톡톡히 하고 있다고 느끼는 선수들의 특징은 상대팀의 딜러들의 킬로그가 잘 안 나옵니다.
And in the OWL, leaning heavily into tanks had some pretty unfortunate consequences. In fact, tanks are at least partly responsible for a meta that nearly killed the Overwatch esports scene. Goats.
As soon as they see the defensive setup, they will just simply swap it away. Crucial time lost here for the Outlaws.
I'm just letting the fans give their, the fans here in the studio give their opinion.
Well, you know, you want your team to win, right? They're gonna have to play what's meta.
And the 2-2-2 roll lock that was meant to counteract the damage.
I think for me, Overwatch is like picking random heroes and doing good with it, even whether it be like a tank, a support, whatever the f, and then just 2-2-2 lock made it so like fucking stale for me. And then banning like here, dude, that shit is so annoying.
But in spite of the grief that it brought to the professional scene, in both the OWL and competitive at large, it is a role that is widely considered to be crucial to a team's success. Tanks are the ones on the front lines, breaking apart fortified positions like closely grouped enemies and narrow choke points. And the role itself can be approached from two different angles, creating space for your team on the front lines as the main tank.
Cuts is going to be eliminated. Into the back goes Goosequay. Has Custa completely locked in the room. Will be able to take him out. Follows up for the other support of Kraken. Going to be going down. And he is not done yet. Just chases deep. Gets absolutely everybody. This guy has been on fire all weekend long.
Or peeling for your team as a surprising source of damage from the sidelines as an off tank.
Fleta tries to use a grab, but Mecco takes it away. That can actually do it. Sound barrier comes through. They lock him up. Mecco's dropping the bomb up over the top. Can he get the picks? Yes, he absolutely can. A quadra kill for Mecco.
In a game that revolves around attacking and defending these points, using tanks correctly is often the only way to ensure that your team can push through or survive the round. In short, tanks are a lot more big-brained than people think. That said, it does take a certain type of player to do well in the role. In Dota 2, for example, there aren't really any tanks in a traditional sense. It's not even formally considered a role. Instead, you have tanky playmakers who take a lot of hits from magical and physical sources, relying on a mixture of HP, armor, and movement to stay alive.
Have they actually got the damage to bring down this tide? No-Tail, Jerax, Hamrez are all relatively low. They're desperately trying to kill him. Yapsor's just going to bail on him and says, you're in on this one on your own, Fudder. I've got to leave you behind. Jerax trying to move away with the Ghost Scepter. But look, they just can't kill him. This man's just so damn tanky with the Greaves. It's taking them an absolute age to bring him down, even with Rezo beating into him. He just is not dying. The plus 24 talent on the Kraken Shell block, it's impossible to play against.
Can't kill him. Now, that might seem basic, but the truth is a little more complicated. To succeed as a tanky Dota hero, a player has to consider their position on the map, the other heroes on their team, and how that combination will work to execute either a team fight or tower push. Players who do want to give the role a try have a few options in-game that can help them do just that. And the ones who give it a shot are rarely disappointed.
Anytime he feels that he can get in with a Ravage, he'll go for it. In fact, they're going to try and fight with the Horn here, and straight away Anna comes into the mid mind control. He has the Ravage ready. Terror throw 5 of them, and now they can just run OG's heroes down one by one. Thompson tries to turn with the Avalanche, but the mech is popped. Anna and Thompson are dead.
League of Legends has had its own share of overpowered tankiness to contend with, like the 2017 tank meta that saw these immovable objects dominate the top lane.
This is a kid who's shown up against any opponents. 2 wet noodles going ham.
Yeah, we talked about it, you know.
And Soaz is in trouble.
Oh,
the shield comes up. The depth charge goes down. 200 HP. Eat the meow card.
To succeed as a tank, a player must possess a certain degree of masochism. You have to be prepared to sacrifice yourself for your squishy teammates. And while killing enemies isn't really the point of having a tank character on your squad, neither is mindlessly absorbing hit after hit.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of nuances to playing a good tank, how you deal out your crowd control, how you know when you actually have to kite back and not take unnecessary damage. That really makes the difference between a good tank and a great tank.
Whether playing offensively to start fights or defensively to peel for their allies, tanks truly shine when they get to divert the enemy's attention and remove threats from their teammates. And while that may sound boring, there are certain players out there who've made the role more fun.
We have seen MVP players go for tanks. Doinby is a great example. We've seen him take the likes of Sion and Poppy into the mid lane, where the enemy mid laner simply cannot burst him down, and he has free roam on the map. So I think tanks is definitely a very varied class with a lot of different nuances to them.
Some assassins even abandoned their one-shotting ways to become unkillable titans, like Echo in 2016.
They get popped as well.
Hunter, the hero for TSM.
Still chasing as well. Hui is going to dodge out of that Winter's Bite, but the gravity field's down. They're going to try and turn things around. So much healing onto Hui. Aphromoo actually takes a bio on the other side as well. Going off. He's going to take out one more on Afro. He's going to try and live, and Haunter says, I don't think so. Gets stunned against the wall, but he's going to keep chasing. Aphromoo is the last one alive. Good stun again.
Oh my God!
Haunter somehow lived, and now he's dead.
And while we are nowhere near an all-tank meta in League right now, because of how important they are to winning team fights, they've almost always been a staple of competitive play.
For the play again, one
Double
step
get
on a
tagged.
impact of the front line. Here comes Smoothie, going for the knockup. They might catch in. Yes, they do. Biofrost is down. Smoothie's gonna trade his life as well, though. 4 versus 4, no supports alive. No Guardian Angel for Meteos, whereas TSM still have 2.
The Weaver's Wall!
Weaver's Wall catches up a couple. Now can they have the follow-up damage? A couple of stuns come in. They've got Bjergsen, and they shut him down with a 1600 damage crit.
Can they get double?
Low. Meteos, another knockup, trades his life, but it does
Double lift!
get the GA. Double
killing them all!
kills
He got
everybody. They've got 3. Impact goes down, and ace for TSM.
So tanks have an important role to play in many games, but as with everything, balance is important. Ultimately though, no matter what game you play or how you choose to play it, protecting your teammates is a noble pursuit. Sacrificing yourself for the greater good can be as vital to lifting that coveted trophy as any of the flashiest plays out there.
He's at half outside. Take it to goal. He gets the goal of his lifetime.
I had to.
You're a god. You're a god, Andrew.
Oh, let's go, Zaya. Let's go, Zaya.
Let's go, Andrew. Are you kidding me?
Oh, no, I was watching the.
You saw that, right?